everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Breaking Yarn podcast. My name is McKaylee. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this is my podcast where I talk about knitting, crochet, and my yarn dyeing adventures. Today is Saturday, March 6th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the shirt that I'm wearing. This is from Magnolia Design Co. On Etsy. It's OB Magnolia Design Co. And I saw Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady and Natalie from Nitty Natty both talked about her on their podcast, and so I wanted to check out her shop and support local, or not local, but like small business. So I saw this shirt and I thought it was really cute. You got to pick what color shirt you want and what design color you want to go with it. So I of course chose mint green, that's my favorite color. And I chose the black heartbeat knitting pattern to go with that. I know it's supposed to mean like my heart beats for knitting, and it does, but I thought of it more as like a kind of a combination between my daughter, since she has CHD, and myself, since I love knitting. So that's what I looked at it as. And so yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share this little shirt that I'm wearing. And of course I'm wearing my little skein earrings in mint green that I made on my blog a while ago. I can link that tutorial down below if you want to make your own skein earrings. But I thought that was a perfect combination to sport my new shirt. So today I don't have any finished objects. I do have a couple of works in progress. I have some new yarn and I have a project from the community to share. So let's do that. The first work in progress that I have today is a in a project bag by Carrie of Stolen Minutes. I shared this last episode. It has little flower patterns on it. And it is housing my summer trellis top. So here's my progress. So last episode I was up here in the charts, and now I am down past my fade. So, and let me talk about this a little bit. This is a really fun pattern. The whole yoke is like 3 diamonds. The smaller ones on top, then the middle ones that'll connect, and then the smaller ones on bottom. This was really fun to knit. It really was engaging and it really kept my attention, which was great. I am knitting this alongside my friend Lisa. She's also knitting it at the same time, just our own little mini knit along, just to, you know, we miss each other. We don't get to hang out and stuff right now, so this was a fun kind of way to, you know, check in a little bit more often and all. So, and I am fading my colors together. So this top part is all cherry, and then I'm fading into the black cherry color that I'm starting right now. And I chose I found this pattern online for fading. Like there was a lot of different options for how you can fade your colors together. And I could have done a faster fade, but I was kind of like, why? Because I still have to knit the straight stockinette for however many rows, and I didn't want to lose engagement any faster, so I went ahead and did the really slow fade. So I don't know if you can see, it's pretty slow striping. It's over 18 rounds, and I put the pattern that I used in my project page, so I'll link that down below so that you can see what that is. In case you like the way that I'm doing it, you might be able to incorporate that into some of your projects. So this is the current color that I'm on. This is dyed with black cherry Kool-Aid, and I talked about this on my last episode, but I can link it down below again. I dyed this yarn with Kool-Aid and this is the Precoisa base from Knit Picks. So it's 100% merino. It is not superwash, but I don't really wash my hand knit items in the washing machine anyways, so I don't think that'll be a huge deal. And then this is the color that I just finished using. And this was all cherry. So dyed with all cherry. And then the last color that I'll fade in, which will be at the bottom of the top, will be this grape color. Also dyed on the same base. So I'm really liking how the fade is turning out. It looks pretty subtle on here, which is nice. And then now I'm gonna knit, it's just straight stockinette in this black cherry color. And then I'll kind of just eyeball it a little bit and see when I need to start fading into my grape. And I'll probably make the top a little longer maybe than the pattern says anyways, just because I like it like that. So that's my first work in progress. Oh, and I also did lifelines between each chart. So at the end of chart 1 and beginning of chart 2, same thing. And then the end of chart 2 but the beginning of chart 3, I also did a lifeline just in case I needed to rip back it all again. I wouldn't need to struggle with doing that, so I just inserted a lifeline while I was knitting in the round. And I actually made a separate video for that technique because I'm using the Chowgu red lace interchangeable set, and they have the lifeline holes built into it. So I didn't know how to do that before, but I tried it on a brioche project before, and then I just figured out how to do it in the round. So I went ahead and just added a video to YouTube for that. So you can check that out if you're interested in that. But so that's my summer trellis, and that's by Jill of Knitterella. Make sure I keep those yarns out. All right. The second whip that I have is in a bag that my mom actually just made for me. It says breaking yarn on it. It's really cute, simple little drawstring bag that she made. And I am knitting the surprise, surprise, Musselburgh Hat by Ysolda Teague. And I'm knitting this for my husband. I have actually never knit my husband anything. And it kind of occurred to me, I was like, that's so crazy. How come I have never knit anything for him? But it's because he's never asked me for anything before. And I don't know if it's just that he thinks maybe he thought, I don't know, that like knitting and crochet looks old or something. But now it's so modernized, you know, patterns like this, like that looks like you could have bought it at a store. So, you know, and I really think it's like a hat that he will enjoy wearing. So I am knitting this out of my Jane Margolis colorway. This is in the quarter round fingering base. I tried to get him to do like Jesse Pinkman or something else. I feel like y'all might think I'm obsessed with Jane Margolis, and I kind of am. Yeah, I am. But I also wanted to try out some of my other colorways, but he wanted Jane, so that's okay. So here's where I am. It's the teeniest, tiniest little hat so far. I did the increases, and now I'm just on the straight knitting part. The cast on was interesting. I think I did it 4 times. And I finally got it. I am not, let's see. I'm not super great with using magic loop method. I just haven't done it a lot. So I'm a little bit more fiddly with it, and I don't really like that. But once you get past the increases, it's okay. And then you can just straighten it around. So I like that part. I could not figure out why the top of my hat looks so different from everyone else's. Like it has like a little bit more of a square on it. And I was like, what? None of mine doesn't look like the pictures that I've seen on Instagram and stuff. And I was like, I don't understand like why mine looks so different. You probably have already guessed what I did. I flipped it somewhere when I was doing magic loop. Instead of continuing to knit on the right side, I flipped it and started knitting on the wrong side. So now I have this amazing feature on the top of my hat that is backwards stockinette. But it's okay, you know? I figure it's the top of the head. My husband's not gonna know, and he's not gonna really care, I don't think. And maybe if I don't run out of yarn before I get to the other end, this can be the inside. We'll see. I'm not too concerned about it. But I did go, should I rip it out and redo it? Then I was like, oh, I don't really want to do that cast on again, and like the increases and all. So I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it. It'll be fine. It's the top of the head, and it's a feature. My own little feature to the Musselburgh hat. So that's that. I'm using Chowgu red lace, my interchangeable set. I use this set for everything. It's perfect. And it's great because then you can, I seamlessly went from doing magic loop to in the round, like without having to do magic loop. So it was so easy. My friend Lisa actually, she was like, I switched to a larger cable by just adding the connector piece, and then you put the longer cable on it and then you just kind of like move it around your knitting. That was the easiest way to switch from one cable to the other size. I would probably do that forever now. So that's what I did on this, to switch from my magic loop longer cable to the 16-inch. So I have 8-inch cable and then 2 4-inch stainless steel needles. So that's my Musselburgh hat for my husband. I will add a progress keeper that I made. It's just red little bead on a lever back. And let me just stick that through a few stitches. There we go. So then next episode, you'll be able to see how much progress I made. And I just realized I did not move my progress keeper up on this top, so I'm gonna do that before moving on. Here we go. So now it's at the top, or technically at the bottom, but it's at the top of my knitting. Okay. So the third whip that I have, sorry, I almost fell over, is in a bag by Fate's Thread. It's my Dr. Seuss bag, another drawstring. I am using Jane Margolis and an unreleased colorway, Holly White, for the yarn. I am testing out this 50-gram yarn that I purchased. I would like to be able to offer kits for cows in my shop. I had a few people testing, so this is just a small update. Had a few people testing the 50 grams for the Lines and Vines cowl, and I wouldn't get your hopes up that there's gonna be kits in the shop. I've officially heard from one person that they ran out of yarn, or they had to modify the pattern in order to not run out of yarn, or to like kind of get a finished object. And it seems like it was going to be that way for the second one as well. And then I haven't heard from the third where she's at. But I am knitting a brioche cowl, and let me just tell you, I feel like I'm just like a mess. This is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, but I have a twist in my cowl. So it's not supposed to look like that. It just continuously twists around because I have a twist in it. I've never actually done that before. I totally was like, why isn't my knitting straight? And then I realized it's because I have a twist, and I don't even know how I did that, but I have started it a few times. So maybe I just absent-mindedly just joined in the round and didn't really check to make sure that they were all straight. So I will be ripping this completely out. And the other issue that I'm having is that my pattern is not what I'm going for. It is pretty. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not what I'm going for. So this project has been in timeout since last episode. I've started it 2 times since last episode, and obviously I have this twist to deal with, and then the pattern is not what I am going for. So I need to really spend some time figuring out the charts and figuring out where I'm going wrong, what is making it look like this as opposed to what I'm going for. So, to be continued on this one. I will have to rip it, obviously, because it's twisted also, but it's also not working out. And I even when I realized that there was a twist, I continued knitting it because I wanted to see if the pattern was working. And sometimes in brioche, it takes a little bit longer to like see your pattern emerge. And that was definitely the case in this one. And then I was like, something's not right. Like, this is not what it's supposed to look like. So, to be continued on that little project that doesn't have a name or anything, but that's okay. So, one of the other things I wanted to show you was I got this yarn from Mandy's Makings. I shopped her mystery skein sale that she just recently had on Instagram. I mean, it's on her Etsy shop, but she posted about it on Instagram. And so I got this little card with it, making a difference, one handcrafted gift at a time. And I like the mission. It says our mission is to provide high quality handcrafted items to our valued customers at a reasonable cost while bringing awareness to human trafficking and giving back to those affected. And then it also says by purchasing our products, we're also providing gifts and school supplies for children, household goods for shelters, and support for businesses employing survivors. So that's really cool. So that's Mandy's Makings. And I had done a poll thing on Instagram if I should open the yarn live on the episode or if I should just show you what the yarn is that I got. And I was kind of sad, but everyone voted just show me. So, not everyone, but the majority was just show me the yarn. So, I feel like Mandy knows me or something. You'll see why. Look at this. This one is 100% Super Wash Merino. It's on her DK weight, and it's called Green Subway Tile. So I got 3 DK weight yarns. This is the second one. And this one's called Caribbean Way. Also Super Wash Merino DK. And this one is Rose, which is really cool. That was my grandmother's name. So these 3 together are so cute. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I feel like they belong together in a project. What do you think I should do with them? I'll have to figure that out. I bought yarn without having a project in mind. Surprise, surprise. But I actually really love these colors, and I think they look so great together. So I'm super thrilled. Thank you, Amanda, for picking those out for me. And I just feel like when I opened the package and I saw this, I was like, no way, like she knows me or something. And for today, when I'm wearing all the If you don't believe me that it's my favorite color, my watch band, I showed you my earrings, my water bottle. Oh, and phone, like literally everything. If there's an option for mint green, it's me. I'm getting it. So those are the yarns that I got from Mandy's Makings. And the last thing I wanted to share with you today is a project from our community group on Ravelry for this podcast. It's linked down below. If you have made a project using any yarn from Breaking Yarn, I would love it if you shared your project in there. By doing that, I can feature you on my podcast, maybe it's even on my social media channels and my newsletter, just showing all the amazing talent that's in the community. And I can't always find the projects on Ravelry by themselves. I would love to always see what happens to the yarn. I know I talked about this last episode, that it really brings it full circle for me, like dyeing the yarn and then getting to see what it becomes is just like so fulfilling. So I created that community. If you have any projects that you've done, please put them in the group. I would really appreciate it. I would love to see and share with everyone. Okay, so this week they are these socks. They're knit by Lisa. She's the unknitter. She used the pink teddy bear colorway in fingering weight. And then for the heels, toes, and cuff, she used a color from Teresa at Fuzzy Whatnots. I think it's called Greystone, but she did just a vanilla sock, except she did a off-center cabling from the toe up to the cuff. So I will link her project page for these socks down below in case you have more questions, or if you want to get a closer look, you can look at her project page there. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for joining me today on episode 4 of the Breaking Yarn podcast. I can't believe that I've made it to 4, and I appreciate all of you for following along and liking and subscribing and commenting. It really makes my day. When I see that there's new comments on my videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, people are actually talking to me. So then I try to reply to everyone, and I do read every single one, even if I don't get a chance to reply. So I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.